Hi kitchen friends. I have another tea party recipe to share with you today. I have here finger sandwiches, and they are called finger sandwiches because they're long and skinny like your finger. And I made egg salad finger sandwiches, so I think they make a great tea party treat. You can eat them anytime and they're so yummy. So here is how you make them. To make the egg salad finger sandwiches, you need eggs, mayonnaise and mustard, bread, and a little salt and pepper. So have an adult remove the crust with a bread knife. The next step is for an adult as well because we need to cut the eggs open. Such a pretty yellow color inside. And we are going to put the yolks in a bowl. This is the yolk, and we're going to leave the white out for now. Okay, so now we're going to work on this part so we can move the whites out of the way for now. To make our egg salad, we need 1 tablespoon for 2 eggs, which makes about 2 sandwiches. Then we need 2 teaspoons of mustard. Okay. Some people like to add in pickles and things like that, and that is yummy too. That's up to you. All I'm going to add today is a little bit of salt and a tiny bit of pepper. Now we've got to mash it up, which I suggest using a fork for, and this is a great job for small hands. All right, once it's mixed together pretty good, it's not going to be perfectly smooth. You just want the yolks mashed up and the mayonnaise and mustard mixed in. The next part is to chop up our egg whites. And if you've got something safe to chop with, this is another good job for a little one because it certainly doesn't have to be in any specific size. And now that I have my egg whites chopped and I have my egg yolk mixture, I'm gonna add them together. So the egg whites that have been chopped are going in with the egg yolk mixture. And then we just stir it around a coat. So we're gonna bring in the bread. And it's pretty straightforward. We're just gonna add some egg salad. Spread it a bit. Put our other piece of bread on top. Now I am going to make this square turn into 3 long rectangles. So an adult can do this with a bread knife, just like this. Ta-da! See how they're long and skinny? Like a finger, kinda. These are really pretty for a tea party tray. Our story today is Miss Spider's Tea Party by David Kirk, published by Scholastic. Miss Spider's Tea Party. One lonely spider sipped her tea while gazing at the sky. She watched the insects on the leaves and many flying by. If I had friends like these, she sighed, who'd stay a while with me, I'd sit them down on silken chairs and serve them cakes and tea. Two timid beetles, Ike and May, crept from the woodwork that same day. But when Miss Spider begged, "Please stay," they shrieked, "Oh no!" and dashed away. Three fireflies flew inside that night, their spirits high, their tails alight. They spied the web and squeaked in fear, "We'd better get away from here!" The little trio did not feel they'd care to be a spider's meal. Four bumblebees buzzed by outside. "Please come to tea," Miss Spider cried. The four ignored her swaying there. She waved a tea towel in the air. She took a cup and tapped the glass. Then one bee spoke to her at last. "We would be fools to take our tea with anyone so spidery." Within the shadows of the room, just peeking from behind a broom, 5 grinning faces bobbed and peered. Miss Spider smiled. Her heart was cheered. Descending for a closer look, she danced into the gloomy nook, but sadly found those jolly mugs belonged, alas, to rubber bugs. Some ants strode in, they numbered 6, but ants with spiders will not mix. She brewed them tea from hips of roses. The proud platoon turned up their noses. A fine bouquet concealed its prize of 7 dainty butterflies. Miss Spider, watching from the wall, was not aware of them at all. The tea table was set for 8 with saucers, cups, and silver plate. The cakes were fresh, the service gleamed, yet no one would arrive, it seemed. Her company in no demand left her a cup for every hand. Nine spotted moths kept safe and warm in shelter from a thunderstorm. They stood beneath an open sash and watched the jagged lightning flash. Miss Spider dropped down on a thread, a silver tray above her head. She'd hoped to please them, but instead, they flew away in mortal dread. "They've left me all alone," she cried. She dabbed her eyes and sadly sighed. "It's plain no bug will ever stay." Her tears splashed down upon the tray. Ten tiny steaming cups of tea were perched atop her trembling knee. She sipped and sobbed, then heard a cough, and turned to see a small wet moth, a fragile thing so soaked by rain, his wings too damp to fly again. She smiled and took a checkered cloth to cloak the frail and thankful moth. They talked and snacked on tea and pie until his tiny wings were dry. Then lifting him with tender care, she tossed him gently in the air. The moth told Ike, then Ike told May, who went from bug to say, "There is no reason for alarm, she's never meant us any harm." So later on that afternoon, assembled in the dining room, 11 insects came to tea to share Miss Spider's courtesy. 12 tender violets in a vase, presented at Miss Spider's place. Set by her chair so neatly spun, she munched the blossoms one by one. Her friends were glad to watch her feast upon the floral centerpiece. It was a great relief to see. She ate just flowers and drank just tea. Miss Spider's reputation grew. Before too long, our hostess knew each bug who crawled or hopped or flew, and all their lovely children, too. The end. That's the last picture. That's such a good story about getting to know new friends and being kind, like Miss Spider was to the moth. She was trying to be kind to everyone, right? And invite them over and share snacks with them, but they were scared of her. And then she helped that little moth, and everybody found out that she just wanted to be their friend and there was nothing to be afraid of. So, Miss Spider used very good manners and asked people to be her friend, and when they didn't, she just waited around, and eventually they learned that she didn't want to eat them, she just wanted to be nice. So, along the lines of using good manners to make friends or just to be polite, which is just a way of being kind and making other people feel good, I would recommend Say Hello, Sophie by Rosemary Wells. It's a really good one, especially for younger friends, and maybe for a little bit older, but not necessarily. Rude Cakes by Rowboat Watkins. This one's kind of funny. It's got lots of thought bubbles and stuff, so it's a fun one to read side by side where you can really see all the details. That is all the time I have for today, so I'll see you next time.